explore the dynamics in the forthcoming delegates conference. It's a highly billed affair that comes with a lot of anxiety, with a lot of excitement, but beneath it, what are the stakes? And what is the state of the national resistance movement in the midst of all the bare knuckles, of all the fists and fights, the violence that has come to define the party processes? How should the nation discern everything that is happening? Well, joining me this morning is Honorable Abasi Agaba, former Member of Parliament for Chitagwenda, together with Mr. Mwambusia Ndebesa, a political analyst. Good to have you both, and very good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning
and morning to
the fellow citizens.
Mr. Ndebesa, do you think the country ought to be nervous about the forthcoming delegates conference, given what's been transpiring over the weeks?
Yes and no. More particularly, it is the NRM party that should be nervous, but unless you are suggesting that the party represents Uganda. But anyway...
being a mass party.
Well, I don't know about being a mass party, but at least being the party in power and which is likely to be in power, and is reflecting nation failure. The nation is failing. There is no national cohesion, because you can see that in the NRM there is no cohesion. There is polarization. There is no cohesion even in the opposition parties, whether it is DP or UPC or NUP. There is no party cohesion. There is no national cohesion. You can see people, citizens in Uganda, do not want to live together. You will see each community wanting to have its own district, each community wanting to have its own diocese, each community wanting to have its own sheikh, each community wanting to have its cultural organization, and now each political party is in disarray, and this does not augur well for national identity, for national cohesion, and we seem to be having a national failure.
Before I get to Honorable Abbas, the big constants in the build-up to the big day in the whole affair have been about money, blackmail, threats, violence, and every kind of machinations. Do these speak to the failing democratic experiment that the country is going through?
Yes, actually, if I were teaching and I was to ask a question, I would ask what are the characteristics of NRM primary elections. They include all those things you have mentioned. You have election rigging, you have violence, you have the use of money, you have conflicts, you have violence, and all those. And what do they portend? They portend, I think, violation not only of human rights, but a violation of democratic norms. There is a violation of democratic norms. One of the glaring examples of failure or violation of the democratic norms is the campaign platform of Right Honorable Anita Mong. She is saying that she should be elected on CEC so that she can deliver the parliament to the executive.
Did she say that?
Yes, she has said it. She has said, I will control parliament, and because I will be on CEC, then I will make sure that CEC policies will be the ones to pass through in parliament. Now you can imagine, you see, in the British Commonwealth, or the Commonwealth democratic norms, when you are appointed a speaker, you relinquish the other posts in the party executive leadership, so that there is some kind of separation of powers, so that there is no overbearing, that the three arms of government have got a semblance of autonomy. But when somebody is campaigning that when I go to CEC, then I will deliver parliament to you. But two, I think the president also had promised that each of the two, Kadaga and Among, that if one stood down for the other, then he would appoint the other ones to SEC because he has got that leeway to do that one. Now, supposing it is Kadaga who, supposing it is Among who stood down, and then she is appointed to SEC. So you can imagine the head of one arm of government appointing the other to be on a certain post. You see, the Speaker of Parliament representing the one arm of government should not be appointed by the executive. This is a violation of a democratic norm. So we are having a situation where we would be expecting to have transformation, democratic transformation, but we are having a backward where the executive and the legislature are fused. And this is not now. Even when Kadaga was still the speaker, she fused the parliament with the executive because she was on SEC. And this violates democratic norms. And this is not the practice of the Commonwealth norms, democratic norms, for which we subscribe to.
Honorable Abbas Agaba, how do you get to the heart of what NRM has become, where it is money, violence, intimidation, and blackmail?
Thank you. One, you see, NRM is a party, and its people in the party, some few flaws are expected, but they are not the dominant flaws. I mean, we went through a party primary. Yes, in some areas things did not go well. In other areas, things went well. In some areas, people were unopposed. In some areas, there were contests. There was a tribunal put up to deal with issues arising out of the primary. And the tribunal also did some good work. In some places, they cancelled some results. In some places, they upheld results. We now wait to see the legitimacy of the decisions of the tribunal and the electoral commission as we get into the second election. You can't write off the NRM or any other party for that matter because of some few flaws that happened during the party elections. Definitely they are expected. They are expected because we are dealing with people and we are dealing with the masses, the mass. How would it be that the elections in the NRM are 100% good and clear and correct? Then, because the NRM does not direct people to do what they do, but people individually, with their own influence, they dip their own influence into the primaries and they confuse people.
So NRM has come to accept flaws as the new normal?
It's not a normal, but I think NRM should be judged on how it tries to deal with the flaws, not on the flaws happening, because they will happen anyway. People have different interests in an election. People have different spirit, different party spirit. To others, like a do or die. Somebody comes to an election and they don't have papers and they will confuse everybody and they want to be elected. It's like a do or die. When they are discovered later on, you find them saying, oh, this NRM is bad because they have not covered their interest. Others are coming on a clean sheet. To me, we would judge the NRM on their capacity to deal with issues, with challenges that arise in the party than the occurrence of the party. First of all, I think the spirits are high, really. And the litmus test has been with the structure elections. If you ask for my opinion, they would do better, really. And I think every time there's an opportunity to run, there are a few things I may highlight where we would do better. But now the spirit is built up and people are eager and encouraged. If you get a person who came from as far as, let's say, Chitagwenda, or from Kabong, or from Arua, and they are in Kampala, the discussion you had that they have had a lot of influence on the economy, you know, and their presence in this city at the delegates conference, there's great excitement, and expectations are high to interact with the people from different areas, different places, to compare notes, to build the party spirit. I think the spirits are quite high.
Besides rubber stamping the expected, how significant would such